Hello, you're listening to Hugo Talks and another lockdown news roundup. And so yesterday, bumbling puppet tyrant Boris Johnson declared that next week was going to be the end of restrictions. Well, whoop-de-doo. I don't care what the clown says. I'm not following the restrictions anyway. Makes no difference to me. But this is all, it's all getting very tiresome now, isn't it? You put your left leg in, your left leg out, in, out, shake it all about. It's the hokey cokey, isn't it? Why is it the hokey cokey? Because they put on restrictions and then when they take them away, they leave a few of them hanging around. And then the general public think, oh, it's good news. They've removed some restrictions. Yet if you compare it to before any of the restrictions started, you're now lumbered with things you shouldn't have had in the first place, yeah? So face mask rules and COVID passes to end in England. Okay, that's the headline it says here. England's Plan B measures are to end from next Thursday with mandatory face coverings in public places and passports both dropped. Boris Johnson has stated. He also said this should not be seen as the finish line because the virus and the future variants cannot be eradicated. Instead, we must learn to live with it in the same way we live with the flu. Well, if that's the case, we've been living with the flu for a very, very long time and we didn't need restrictions in all of that time. So it says here face masks no longer compulsory in public spaces. The work from home thing is stopped and the passes are no longer needed to go to nightclubs and other large venues. But that doesn't mean the passports are gone because this puppet tyrant still said that the boosters will be needed for international travel. And Sadiq Khan is saying that the masks are still required on the tube, on public transport. So it's put a load of restrictions on, then take them off, but leave a few hanging around, which has been the strategy all along. Now, as I said in an earlier video this week, this has been unusual in that it is out of lockstep with other countries, notably Canada at the moment, Australia and Italy, which Italy at the moment, they have mandated the jab for over 50s. A lot of hassle going on over there. The unjabbed being barred from restaurants, gyms, swimming pools, cinemas, sports events and public transport. Another example in Italy is you have a record number of children being taken out of schools. As can be seen here, Italian anti-vax parents send children to clandestine schools over jib-jab protocol, mask-wearing protocol, setting up their own schools, which of course the puppet tyrants don't like. And you can see the same carry on in Austria, France doing something similar, Germany. The UK is oddly out of step at the moment, and it will be interesting to see if the others follow suit. To me, it doesn't look like they will. But what is going on in the UK is that this could just be a load of crap, maybe just to get to quieten down things a bit in order to move Mr. Blobby Boris on, move him out, get him out of the way and bring in another bad actor, as they are still continuing with the sad, transparent pantomime media show of Boris must go. Lame-ass bad actor Keir Starmer for the opposition, the pretend opposition, says he must go now. David Davis, or whatever his name is, he said, in the name of God, go Boris. I bet this sado was rehearsing that line all night. He said that in the Prime Minister's questions in the House of Commons, which is a theatre full of actors, which has been deceiving everyone for a long time now that there is something called democracy. That's what it is. As I've said, none of these people had their finger on the pulse. All the big decisions are not being made by these clowns. So it doesn't matter who is leader. It doesn't matter who is second in command or whatever, as they're just actors reading out the instructions. What these people are like sponges. They are like the first line of defence, caricatures for the public to complain about, groomed from Oxford University to play these parts in the future. They are sponges to soak up the attention of the public, to be shown and used in the fake stream media, to be shown on the news at 9, a distraction from the people who are actually really calling the shots, behind them, okay? And the ones behind them as well, who are most usually bankers, the massive banking corporations, the massive banking families, basically the money lenders, who, if you were listening to the Iron Mountain video, you can see how they don't want wars no more, using wars as a way of getting countries into debt. So they had to come up with another threat, so to speak. People talk about the social credit system coming from China, but how did you think it got started in China? Funding from the big banks, the big corporations, the usual suspects. Here we see Channel 4 News. Cost of living, prices soaring at fastest rate for 30 years. So as we can see now, these fake stream media are focusing on the financial problems caused by all of the lockdowns. Prices have soared by their fastest rate for 30 years as inflation hit 5.4%, its highest since 1992. It's been fueled by rising food prices along with soaring energy bills. And that, says experts, is only likely to get worse. And you can see they are also priming people here through the fake stream media yesterday about interest rates rising, which of course is a decision made by those money lenders. It says here, mortgage bills set to rise if Bank of England hikes interest rates after UK inflation soars to 5.4%. Millions of households are feeling the pinch when it comes to covering grocery, fuel and energy bills, official figures show. Homeowners will be hit by rising mortgage bills if the Bank of England heeds economists' calls to increase interest rates in order to tackle the ballooning prices of everyday goods. As I was saying months ago, get in a stock of food, cheap tinned food, even if things were not to get worse. Even if the worst didn't happen, you would still be making a saving on buying the cheap food, like I was talking about 6 months ago. If food prices were now to rise up like crazy, and they're going to rise up, they always rise in some way or another, they always rise. You'd have that stock of food you purchased earlier, 6 months ago, at the cheaper rate, which in turn would save you money if you got quite a lot of it over a period of time. So look, anyhow, stay strong, stay focused, keep the faith. Don't be distracted by these theatre shows. Although it's fun to go boo and say, oh no, you're not. Oh yes, he is. It's just a show. Stay true to your convictions. Stay true to yourself. As always, thanks for listening. Come and subscribe to the tribe at hugotalks.com and I'll see you later.